in our field hearing at the Iowa State Fair. It's great to have you back.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I want to say thank you very much to the Ways and Means Committee, who took the time to come to Iowa and hear directly from folks who are impacted by the decisions you're about to make. We have a critical opportunity this year to extend and improve the tax cuts. The legislation that we pass will play a major role in making the economy work again for families. I know this because in Iowa, we led the largest tax cuts in state history, and our economy grew. And Mr. Chairman, I know you're going to do the same for our country. So I'd like to begin with number one, the child tax credit. By doubling the child tax credit in 2017, nearly 400,000 Iowa families saw major relief. And now, this is money that they're directly taking back to our communities. I spoke recently with Sarah, a farm mother, and has 3 kiddos at home. And I asked her what she did with her tax returns. And despite the surprise to some liberals, she didn't buy an Italian-made Ferrari with her tax credit. She put her kids through speech therapy and bought a water boiler so her family could be warm this winter. That's a direct investment in a community. These child tax credits help not only grow families and support, but they grow at a local, a hometown level. Issue number 2, adoption. Mr. Chair, as you know, my wife and I recently got to adopt 2 incredible little girls, Jaina and Aaliyah. They've been a great part of our family, but the reality is so many here who have adopted, it's an expensive endeavor. And it can be challenging to bring kids into a safe and loving home. That's why I'm fighting to help more low and middle income families adopt children by taking advantage of the adoption tax credit, making it permanent and fully refundable to help offset those initial costs so that more families have the opportunity to bring children into their forever home. 3, the infant tax credit. As we all know, just years ago, millions of parents with babies were struggling to find the formula they needed to just feed their kids. We must prevent another baby formula shortage or be dependent on a place like China to provide it. My bipartisan Infant Tax Credit Act would create tax credits so that small baby formula manufacturers, including my home state of Iowa, would be able to help diversify our supply chain and ensure that infant formula options for families across the country are available and ready in our time of need. 4, our small businesses. In my home state of Iowa, small businesses are more than 270,000 in total and make up 99% of our state's economy. They are the lifeblood of our hometowns. If we allow the tax deduction to expire by inaction, 92% of Iowa's Main Street businesses will be hit with a new 44% tax increase. That means closed doors, shuttered communities, and the hollowing out of middle America. In simple terms, family farms will die. That is why it's so important that we move forward and recognize the role our small businesses play. 5, biofuels. Not only is this important for America's energy independence, it unleashes the great parts of your districts and mine. I'm thrilled that by extending 45Z, 45B, and 40A, as well as other biofuel tax credits that people have built an industry upon, we have the opportunity to truly lead for not only our country, but help families at the pump and in their supply chain costs to drive it down for generations to come. And 6, the death tax. Finally, more than half of U.S. farmlands in our country today are on the brink of a generational hand changeover. The family farm for all of us is on the line, and it's forced families to determine whether they can keep their farm in the family or whether they have to sell to places like Big Ag or worse, to China. Here's a real-life example. A farmer friend of mine from Cass County recently inherited his entire family farm, and while many might think that's a great thing, at the same time, without the death tax exemption, he would have been forced to pay millions. As a result, to preserve our family farms, to make sure that we can feed our country, and to provide both food security and national security, I'm working with my Iowa colleague, Mr. Feenstra, on the committee today to make sure that we permanently repeal the death tax. Mr. Chairman, to the men and women of the Ways and Means Committee, you have a huge duty before you. We are honored to stand with you, but know this, the American people are watching, and they are depending on you to help lead the charge with our support to unleash America's greatness and make sure that Iowans and the country keep a little bit more money in their pocket, because I guarantee you this, they will do more to grow our economy than anything we can do here in Washington. With that, Mr. Chairman, let's get to work.